might remember this classic story first shared by Thich Nhat Hanh, where the Buddha would be offering teachings in fields outside villages. And Mara, who is the god representing our shadow side, Mara would appear. And Mara represents, anger, hatred, shame, of course, fear, anxiety. And Ananda, who was the Buddha's loyal attendant and also his cousin, would see Mara lurking around the edges and go, "Oh no, this is terrible. Mara's here." But the Buddha would say, "No, no, no, no worries, chill," back in the vernacular back then. He'd go right over to Mara and he'd say, "I see you, Mara. Come, let's have tea." And I love the attitude, the feel, the spirit of this. And it's psychologically and spiritually very astute because when we're stressed, when we're emotionally reactive, we need to have the presence that sees what's happening. I see you, Mark. And we need to have the heart that says, "Come, let's have tea. Let me befriend this." These are the two wings of awareness, seeing clearly what's happening and opening our hearts to what's happening. So the gift of having tea with Mara is that rather than being caught in that sense of a small, separate self struggling with my stress and bumping into others in our reactivity, the invitation becomes learn to pause, become that space of awakeness and compassion that can include and respond to the life within and the life of others. So we're going to practice this. A few tips on having tea with Mara. One is the beginning. I see you, Mara. Name what's going on. Just use words. Just whisper yourself. Okay, anxious, spinning, confused, irritated. It really helps to bring it more fully into awareness. And get curious. I shared at the beginning, getting curious as to what I was believing. Ask yourself, what am I believing? There's always a fear belief when we're stressed. For me, too much to do. There's not going to be enough time. I'll fall short. I'll disappoint. I'll be rejected. Find out what you're believing. And then having tea, the compassion element, to really feel with. In other words, whatever the experience is, feel it in your body. Feel the fear, feel the upset, feel the pressure, because the more you're in your body, the more caring will arise. You can really sense, ouch, this is unpleasant. There's caring. And then experiment with what actually feels nurturing to you. That you're actually sensing inside what's going on and offering care. I mean, whatever you say to yourself, I put my hand on my heart, I have it on my heart right now. Whatever message you might offer, say it a few times so that your actual inner voice quality is tender. It really makes a difference. It's a state changer. So let's just take a few moments to practice now. And we'll explore how do we turn the experience of stress into a gateway for awakening, for deepening presence. So take a moment, if you will, to let your attention turn inward, perhaps take a few full breaths. And letting yourself bring to mind a situation that typically brings up stress for you. Some circumstance in your life at work or in a relationship, the home front that brings up anxiety, tension, maybe a feeling of being fragmented, confused, reactive. And it might be when you have a certain type of perfect storm, a few things at once. but bring to mind that kind of situation. And as you do, notice the form that Mara takes, that form of whether it's anger or impatience or fear, anxiety, confusion. How does the shadow god Mara appear in your body mind? And as you notice, you might say, I see you, Mara. You might name whatever's coming up. It may be certain kind of thoughts, worry thoughts, planning thoughts, judging thoughts. You might ask yourself, what am I believing? Is it that this is too much to handle, that I'm going to fail? What are the particular beliefs that go with strong stress? What are you most afraid of? And as you notice the feelings that are there, having tea. I feel you, Mara. I'm with you, Mara. Come into the body. You might even breathe with what's going on. Having tea might mean for you putting your hand on your heart, in some way bringing a kindness, a care to whatever's going on inside you. And you might even ask yourself, how does the most awake or loving part of my being want to respond? What do I want to offer myself? And there may be some message that you can transmit with real care. Perhaps having tea also means offering a sense of light or warmth, holding tenderly what's there. Just sensing energetically what will most nurture, nourish, bring healing to the part of you that is in some way in distress. Now take some moments to simply rest in the presence that's here. And perhaps noticing the shift from being caught in the stressed out self to a more open, more aware, more tender space that can include whatever's going on. Let yourself really pause and rest in and as awareness. You might listen to these words from the poet Danna Faulds. Settle in the here and now. Reach down into the center where the world is not spinning and drink in this holy peace. Feel relief flood into every cell. Nothing to do, nothing to be, but what you are already. Nothing to receive, but what flows effortlessly from the mystery into form. Nothing to run from or run toward, just this breath, awareness, knowing itself as embodiment. just this breath, awareness, awakening to truth. And as we close, you might ask yourself, when I'm stressed, when I'm anxious, when life feels like too much, what do I want to remember? What is my intention in moving forward?